In the bustling streets of Lagos, promises of wealth turned out to be nothing more than a mirage. What compels a person to surrender their hard-earned savings to a stranger's dream? Beneath the vibrant chaos of one of Africa's largest cities, a tale of ambition and illusion began to unfurl. The year was 1991, a time when Nigeria, brimming with potential, found itself both a land of opportunity and uncertainty. Within this tapestry, the name Umanah E. Umana began to echo, offering visions of prosperity that seemed almost too radiant to resist. Umanah E. Umana investment emerged as a beacon of hope among the economic trials of the day. Its rise was swift, a phenomenon as entrancing as it was perplexing. With promises of extraordinary returns, it caught the imagination of many. People from diverse walks of life converged upon its offices, each drawn by the lure of financial liberation. Yet, beneath the surface of this burgeoning enterprise, shadows lurked. Amidst the clamor of exuberant investors, whispers of doubt began to form, like distant thunder on a clear day. This was a saga poised on the brink, teetering between triumph and tragedy. As the foundations of this wonder bank were laid, so too was the stage set for its eventual demise. A tale of wealth and woe, now waiting to unfold. This scene explores the history of the Umanah E. Umana investment scandal, Nigeria's 1991 Wonder Bank. What appeared to many as a golden opportunity, a beacon of investment prosperity, was beginning to reveal its elusive, shifting sands. Beneath the polished veneer of the Umanah E. Umana enterprise lay a fragile construct, teetering on the brink of collapse. As investigators delved deeper into the labyrinth of ledgers and transactions, the facade of legitimacy began to crumble. In the dimly lit offices where clerks once busily shuffled papers, murmurs of financial irregularities grew louder. Audits revealed a tangled web of misappropriations, funds siphoned under the guise of high returns, and books meticulously cooked to mask the truth. The seemingly unassailable tower of wealth and promise was in truth built on little more than wishes and the ever-thinning trust of its investors. Umanah E. Umana, once a revered figure, found the weight of scrutiny and suspicion pressing upon him. The aura of confidence he once projected now seemed a distant memory as the walls of his empire began to close in, each revelation more damning than the last. The intricate schemes, so carefully crafted to entice and ensnare, were now unraveling, exposing the underbelly of deceit. With every passing day, the pressures mounted, not just from those who toiled to uncover the truth, but from the public, whose faith had been unceremoniously shattered. The dream Umana had sold was turning into a nightmare for countless families, whose futures were now as fragile as the empire that betrayed them. The house of cards was trembling, and the fall was inevitable. The year was 1992, and the inevitable collapse came with a thunderous crash that echoed through the streets of Nigeria. The Umanah E. Umana investment scheme, once heralded as a beacon of financial hope, was declared insolvent, leaving a trail of chaos in its wake. Investors, blindsided by the news, gathered en masse outside the once bustling offices, their faces etched with disbelief and confusion. In the air, a palpable tension swirled, mingling with the desperate cries of those who had placed their hopes, their savings, in the hands of the Wonder Bank. The promises of prosperity had vanished, replaced by the stark reality of loss. The media descended like a storm, cameras flashing, capturing the tumult of emotions. Headlines screamed of the grand deception, of lives upended by greed and mismanagement. The frenzy fed upon itself, each revelation more sensational than the last, fueling a nationwide discourse on trust, accountability, and the perils of unchecked ambition. Official announcements, grave and measured, confirmed the worst fears of many. The scheme, a sprawling edifice of illusion, was nothing more than a mirage. As the dust settled, a somber realization took hold. The financial dream had devolved into a waking nightmare, and there would be no swift resolution. The collapse was complete, its impact reverberating through the corridors of power and the hearts of the common man alike. In the wake of financial ruin, a new chapter began with the arrest of the man at the center of the storm, Umanah E. Umana. The once unassailable figure, whose name had been synonymous with wealth and opportunity, now faced the cold grip of justice. In the early hours of dawn, as the city stirred from slumber, authorities moved with quiet precision. Umana was taken into custody, a moment both anticipated and shocking in its finality. The man who had navigated the tides of fortune with such seeming ease was now ensnared in the web of his own making. The legal proceedings that followed were marked by their gravity. Charges were meticulously laid out, each an echo of the shattered dreams that lay in the scheme's ruinous wake. The public watched with a mixture of relief and anger, their voices united in a call for retribution. The arrest was not merely the fall of a man, but a reckoning for an era of unchecked ambition. Yet, amid the somber proceedings, there lingered a flicker of hope, a belief that justice, though delayed, would finally be served. As Umana faced the consequences of his actions, the nation grappled with the broader implications, the lessons etched in the annals of financial history. The arrest signaled not an end, but a beginning of understanding, of healing, and perhaps of redemption. The year 1993 dawned with a trial that captivated the nation, a legal drama that unfolded with all the intensity of a theater's grandest performance. Umanah E. Umana, the architect of a vast financial illusion, stood before the court, the weight of his deeds laid bare for all to see. In the courtroom, the atmosphere was charged, a palpable tension hanging in the air. Lawyers, adept in their craft, sparred over the finer points of the law, their arguments as sharp as the glare of the media's unblinking eye. Key testimonies emerged, each a piece of the puzzle that would either exonerate or condemn. The media's gaze was relentless, documenting every twist and turn with fervor. The narrative they spun was intricate, a tapestry of greed, ambition, and the inevitable fall from grace. Public interest soared, each revelation a catalyst for conversation across a nation hungry for truth. As the trial progressed, the spotlight shifted, illuminating not just the accused, but the very fabric of a system that had allowed such deception to flourish. The proceedings were a mirror reflecting society's own vulnerabilities, a call to introspection and reform. In the courtroom's charged silence, history was being written, its outcome uncertain, its implications profound. The trial of Umanah E. Umana reached its denouement with a verdict that echoed through the halls of justice and beyond. The sentence, solemnly rendered, was a final act in the dramatic saga of the Wonder Bank, a cautionary tale etched into the consciousness of a nation. The courtroom, a place of deliberation and judgment, now bore witness to the culmination of months of legal wrangling. The verdict was clear, its implications resounding. Umanah E. Umana was found guilty, his empire of illusion now irrevocably shattered. The reaction was immediate and profound. For those who had invested not just money but faith in the promise of prosperity, the judgment was bittersweet. Justice served, yet dreams irrevocably lost. The legal resolution offered closure, yet it could not restore what had been taken. As the gavel came down, signaling the end of an era, the echoes of the judgment reached far beyond the courtroom's walls. It was a moment of reflection for a nation compelled to reckon with the darker shades of ambition and trust. In the quiet aftermath, the lessons of the Umanah E. Umana scandal remained, a stark reminder of the fragile nature of dreams intertwined with deceit and the enduring strength of justice sought and finally found. In the quiet aftermath of deceit, the echo of shattered dreams resonates through the lives of the unsuspecting. How swiftly the facade of prosperity fades, leaving in its wake the indelible scars of betrayal. The Umanah E. Umana investment scandal of 1991 unraveled the intricate tapestry of trust that bound countless Nigerians to promises of untold riches. Families, once buoyed by hopes of financial security, found themselves adrift. Their savings vanished like mist at dawn. Among them was Mrs. Adekunle, a schoolteacher, who had invested her life's savings with visions of a dignified retirement. Her story is but one thread in a vast quilt of human suffering, where aspirations were bartered for hollow assurances. The financial impact was severe, yet it pales in comparison to the emotional toll, an enduring loss of faith in the very fabric of human commitment. In the bustling streets of Lagos, the vibrant hum of commerce now carries undercurrents of skepticism and wariness. Investors, seduced by the allure of effortless gain, confront the harsh reality of their naivety. The Umanah E. Umana scandal is a testament to the vulnerability that accompanies trust misplaced, a poignant reminder that beneath the veneer of financial guarantees often lies the shadow of risk. As Nigeria grappled with this financial calamity, the ripple effects extended beyond mere currency. Communities once teeming with entrepreneurial spirit found themselves entrenched in a quagmire of doubt, questioning the integrity of a system that had so cruelly deceived them. This chapter in Nigeria's financial history stands as a somber monument to the fragility of dreams when entrusted to the capricious winds of speculation. In the dim corridors of power, where the intricacies of deceit were woven, a bulwark of truth emerged, the voice of the media. Tasked with the formidable challenge of piercing the veil of deception, journalists became the torchbearers of accountability, their pens as mighty as swords in the battle for transparency. The uncovering of the Umanah E Umana scandal was not merely a feat of journalism, it was a triumph of perseverance and moral fortitude. Reporters, often under the threat of censorship and reprisal, ventured into the murky waters of financial impropriety. They followed leads, unearthed documents, and pieced together narratives that revealed the extent of the chicanery. Key pieces of investigative journalism highlighted not just the mechanics of the fraud, but the human stories it obscured. These journalists faced an uphill battle, navigating a landscape fraught with intimidation and misinformation. Yet their resolve never wavered. Their work illuminated the path to justice, bringing to light the hidden machinations that had ensnared thousands. In this pursuit of truth, the media not only informed but inspired a nation to demand more from those in seats of power. Their diligence served as a beacon of hope, affirming the crucial role of a free press in safeguarding democracy. As the ink dried on their exposés, the seeds of reform were sown, promising a future where deception would find no refuge in the shadows. Emerging from the chrysalis of scandal, Nigeria embarked on a journey of introspection and reform. The Umanah E Umana investment scandal was a clarion call for regulatory overhaul, a beacon guiding the path to a more secure financial horizon. In the aftermath, the Nigerian government enacted a series of sweeping regulatory changes. New policies took root, designed to fortify the financial sector against the ravages of unscrupulous schemes. The establishment of the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, marked a pivotal shift, instating a safety net for depositors and fostering a climate of greater trust. These reforms were not merely reactive, they were transformative. They sought to dismantle the vulnerabilities that had allowed such a scandal to flourish unchecked. Strengthened oversight mechanisms and enhanced transparency became the bulwarks against future deception, signaling a commitment to integrity and accountability. Yet, as with all change, the road was not without its challenges. Implementing these reforms required a concerted effort, a collaboration between government entities and financial institutions. Together, they endeavored to restore confidence and rebuild the trust that had been so grievously eroded. In this new era of governance, the lessons of the past served as a guiding light, ensuring that the specter of the Umanah E Umana scandal would not haunt Nigeria anew. The unfolding narrative was one of hope, a testament to resilience and the ceaseless pursuit of a just and equitable financial system. The Umanah E Umana scandal, though a dark chapter in Nigeria's financial history, illuminated paths of wisdom for both investors and regulators alike. In the calm reflection that follows turmoil, the nation gleaned invaluable lessons, etched into the collective consciousness like ancient calligraphy on parchment. For investors, the saga underscored the paramount importance of due diligence. The allure of high returns, while tantalizing, carried with it the need for scrutiny and discernment. It became clear that the path to financial prosperity was not paved with promises alone, but with informed decisions grounded in rigorous investigation. Regulators, too, learned from the tumult, recognizing the critical need for agile oversight and robust frameworks. The scandal highlighted systemic weaknesses that demanded redress, prompting a reevaluation of existing protocols and the adoption of innovative strategies to safeguard against future transgressions. As these lessons took root, they fostered an environment of vigilance, where both investors and institutions were better equipped to navigate the complex financial landscape. The scars of the scandal, though deep, became a testament to the resilience of a nation committed to growth and integrity. In this tranquil aftermath, the air was thick with the resolve to learn and evolve. The narrative of the Umanah E Umana scandal transcended its origins, becoming a catalyst for continuous improvement and a reminder that in the realm of finance, caution and wisdom are the stalwart companions of progress. The reverberations of the Umanah E Umana scandal transcended the confines of individual loss, penetrating the very soul of a nation. In the quiet reflection that ensued, Nigeria grappled with the broader implications of trust and the fragility of its institutional frameworks. This moment in history became a crucible for the national psyche, forging new perceptions of investment and financial stewardship. The scandal had unmasked vulnerabilities within the system, prompting a collective reevaluation of values and priorities. It was a time of reckoning, where the illusion of infallibility was shattered, giving way to a more cautious optimism. Yet amid the disillusionment, there emerged a narrative of resilience and renewal. Communities, once bound by the shackles of misplaced trust, found strength in unity and purpose. They began to rebuild, guided by the wisdom garnered from hard-earned experience. On a broader scale, the scandal sparked a dialogue on the essence of trust, not only between investors and institutions, but within the fabric of society itself. It prompted a reconsideration of what it means to invest, not just monetarily, but in the shared future of a nation. In this period of introspection, Nigeria was reminded of its inherent fortitude. The scandal, though a painful episode, became a catalyst for transformation, urging the country towards a future where trust is earned, not assumed, and where the lessons of the past inform a more secure and equitable tomorrow. In the early 1990s, as the world turned its gaze towards Nigeria, the echoes of a financial debacle rippled through international consciousness. How had a single investment scheme, like a tempest, breached national borders to capture global headlines? The collapse of the Umanah E Umana investment reflected not merely a local tragedy, but held a mirror to the vulnerabilities inherent in unregulated financial exuberance. Major newspapers, from the Financial Times to the New York Times, chronicled the unfolding drama with a mix of incredulity and earnest reflection, questioning the safeguards, or lack thereof, that had permitted such a spectacle. As foreign analysts pondered the vulnerabilities in emergent markets, nations far removed from Nigeria's shores found themselves reevaluating their own financial architectures. A growing awareness emerged, recognizing that the allure of impossibly high returns often disguised the seeds of disastrous consequence. Conferences and seminars across continents dissected the scandal, drawing parallels and extracting lessons that transcended Nigeria's borders. The international response was not one of mere voyeurism, but rather a sober reminder of the interconnectedness of global finance and the perpetual need for vigilance. In this shared experience, the world learned that while high stakes may promise fortune, they also entail a dance with the specter of ruin. Amidst the bustling streets of Lagos and the quieter corners of rural Nigeria, voices of the people carried stories of hope and heartache. Each tale, a thread in the tapestry of a nation grappling with the aftermath of financial betrayal. Olufemi, a retired schoolteacher, speaks with a heavy heart, his savings lost to the promises of wealth spun by the scheme. For many, the Wonder Bank had seemed a beacon of prosperity, an opportunity to transcend the limitations of economic struggle. Yet, as the truth unfurled, that beacon dimmed, leaving behind shadows of disillusionment. Women in vibrant markets, once buoyed by the prospects of newfound stability, now whispered tales of caution and skepticism. The scandal pierced not only pockets, but also the communal spirit, altering the trust between neighbors and even within families. A sense of betrayal lingered as people contemplated how their aspirations had been so deftly manipulated. In this chorus of ordinary voices, the scandal took on a human face, a reminder of the personal cost beyond the cold figures of financial loss. These voices, resonant with dignity and resilience, underscored a collective yearning for justice and a steadfast hope for redemption and reform. The collapse of the Umanah E Umana scheme sent tremors through the intricate web of Nigeria's economy, reverberating far beyond the immediate victims. Businesses, reliant on the liquidity promised by the scheme's enthusiasts, found themselves adrift in a sea of financial uncertainty. As banks tightened credit and investors withdrew in fear, the reverberations spread to industries untouched by the original scandal. Local enterprises that had thrived on the optimism and spending power of a hopeful populace now faced closures and cutbacks. In the heart of the financial district, once bustling with ambition, a palpable tension took root as trust, an essential currency of commerce, eroded. The ripple effect did not spare the agricultural sectors either, where farmers, enticed by dreams of capital to expand their harvests, confronted the stark reality of unfulfilled promises. The broader economic landscape, once vibrant with the pulse of potential, now labored under the weight of skepticism and retrenchment. In the face of such widespread impact, the government sought measures to stabilize the economy, yet the task was monumental. This was a lesson in the fragility of economic ecosystems, highlighting the intricate interplay between faith and fiscal stability. As the dust settled on the Umanah E Umana scandal, it stood as a cautionary tale etched into the annals of financial history. It was a testament to the dangers lurking in the absence of oversight, where the promise of prosperity overshadowed the imperative of due diligence. The story of the Wonder Bank was woven with lessons of transparency and accountability, urging a world attentive to the temptations of unchecked ambition. From the corridors of power to the classrooms of future economists, a narrative took shape, advocating vigilance against the siren call of easy wealth. Regulatory bodies, both within Nigeria and elsewhere, found themselves at a crossroads, tasked with erecting fortresses of scrutiny and compliance. Yet the tale was not merely one of caution, but also of introspection, a call to reflect on the values that underpin financial systems. As viewers, we are invited to ponder the role of responsibility, the balance between risk and aspiration, and the ethical compass that must guide our financial endeavors. In remembering the past, we are urged to chart a course towards a future where the lessons of history inform a path of integrity and prudence. The legacy of Umanah E Umana and the investment scheme endures, a complex tapestry woven into the fabric of Nigeria's historical narrative. To some, it remains a bitter reminder of a perilous time where hope and deceit intertwined with abandon. Yet from the ashes of misfortune emerged a resilience and a renewed call for regulation that shaped the future of Nigeria's financial landscape. As scholars and historians reflect on the events, they find lessons that extend beyond mere caution, but also resilience and reform. The story is retold not as a mere chronicle of failure, but as a pivotal chapter in the saga of a nation forging its identity in the modern world. Today, the tale of Umanah E Umana serves as a touchstone for dialogue on economic ethics and the moral imperatives of governance. It occupies a place in classrooms and courtrooms alike, a beacon for ongoing efforts to safeguard against similar fates. In memory, the narrative evolves, not only a cautionary specter from the past, but an impetus for a future defined by transparency and trust. The legacy thus remains alive, a testament to the indomitable spirit of a people and their unyielding quest for justice and truth. In the shadowed halls of Nigeria's financial history, a question lingers. How does a nation restore the trust so easily shattered? Following the tumult of the Umanah E Umana scandal, a determined spirit of renewal emerged, casting light upon a path forward. With the echoes of the past serving as poignant reminders, financial leaders and policymakers laid the foundation for a future defined by transparency and integrity. New regulations arose, sculpted by the lessons learned, and a series of initiatives sought to bridge the chasm between the financial realm and the people it serves. At the heart of these efforts lay a concerted push for education, a gentle yet persistent wave aimed at enlightening the populace. In cities bustling with life and villages steeped in tradition, workshops and seminars began to flourish, offering insights into the complexities of finance. These gatherings, both humble and grand, fostered a newfound understanding, urging individuals to ask questions, to seek clarity, and to place their trust not in whispers of quick fortunes, but in the steady march of informed decision-making. Government agencies partnered with local communities, crafting campaigns that spoke to the everyday investor, the farmer, the teacher, the merchant. Together, they embarked on a journey to rebuild, one step at a time, brick by brick. As the sun set over the vibrant landscapes of Nigeria, it was clear that the seeds of trust, carefully planted in the aftermath of scandal, were beginning to take root, promising a future where confidence in the financial system could once again flourish. As the pages of history turn, the echoes of the 1991 scandal silently reverberate through Nigeria's present financial landscape. The tale of Umanah E. Umana is not one confined to the annals of the past, but a living lesson, its shadows cast upon the complexities of modern finance. In the bustling markets of Lagos, amidst the digital hum of today's economy, the specter of misplaced trust serves as a solemn reminder. Recent years have brought their own trials, as new challenges arise to test the resilience of the financial sector. The globalized world presents opportunities, yet also risks, and the lessons of history urge caution and diligence. Institutions that once faltered under the weight of unchecked ambition now strive to fortify themselves, embracing transparency and accountability as their guiding principles. In this delicate balance, the ethical responsibilities of financial entities come to the fore. The journey is not without its missteps, but the path is one carved with intention, a quest to ensure that the errors of the past become the wisdom of the present. As the sun rises each day, it illuminates a nation that listens, learns, and gradually transforms, ever mindful of the echoes that persist, guiding it toward a future where stability and trust are interwoven with every financial transaction. Behind the facade of numbers and transactions lies the true heart of the Umanah E saga, the human stories that form its core. In the quiet corners of offices and the bustling streets of Nigeria, individuals bore witness to the unfolding drama, each with their own tale to tell. For many who worked within the walls of Umanah E the experience was a tapestry of ambition and disillusionment. There were those who genuinely believed in the vision, who saw themselves as pioneers of a new financial era. But as the layers of deception unraveled, the dissonance between aspiration and reality became painfully clear. Clerks and managers, swept up in the whirlwind of promised prosperity, found themselves grappling with the stark truth of their complicity and naivety. Yet amidst the turmoil, moments of resilience and humanity shone through. Personal sacrifices, quiet acts of bravery, and the enduring hope for redemption painted a more nuanced picture of those involved. As we delve into their narratives, we encounter more than mere victims or villains. We find individuals striving to make sense of a world that had shifted beneath their feet. It is a poignant reminder that at the heart of every financial scandal are people, flawed, hopeful, and seeking solace in the aftermath of shattered dreams. As the dawn of a new era breaks over Nigeria, it heralds a time of renewal and resilience. The shadows of past financial missteps are slowly dispelled by the radiant promise of transformation. In the wake of adversity, a nation's resolve to forge a brighter future becomes ever more evident. The financial sector, once beleaguered by scandal, now stands as a testament to the power of reinvention. Rigorous reforms and innovative practices take root, guided by a steadfast commitment to integrity. The corridors of power echo with discussions of accountability, while new financial technologies offer greater accessibility and security. Across the land, a spirit of optimism takes hold. Entrepreneurs and investors find fertile ground for their ambitions, buoyed by the confidence that the lessons of the past have not been in vain. Communities once wary now engage with renewed faith, participating in a system that strives to serve everyone with fairness and equity. This new dawn, illuminated by the collective will of a nation, is a beacon of hope. It signifies not just recovery, but the enduring strength of a people who have weathered the storm and emerged with unwavering determination. As Nigeria moves forward, it does so with the knowledge that within every challenge lies the seed of opportunity, ready to blossom into a future defined by wisdom and prosperity. Education, the timeless cornerstone of progress, steps forth as an essential guard against the repetition of past financial missteps. In the wake of the Umanah E scandal, the importance of financial literacy gains prominence, illuminating a path toward informed citizenship and sound investment practices. Across Nigeria, initiatives sprout like new growth after the rain, each designed to equip the populace with the knowledge to navigate the financial landscape. Schools introduce curricula that demystify the complexities of economics, turning abstract concepts into relatable lessons for young minds. Community centers host seminars, bridging the gap between financial jargon and everyday life, empowering individuals to make thoughtful decisions. The call for education resonates deeply, reaching far beyond the confines of academia. In bustling cities and tranquil villages alike, the message is clear. Understanding finance is not a privilege, but a necessity. As individuals learn to discern between genuine opportunity and perilous schemes, a culture of vigilance begins to take hold, a safeguard woven into the fabric of society. Through these efforts, a hopeful vision emerges, one where knowledge serves as the first line of defense against deception, where each citizen becomes a guardian of their own financial destiny. As the seeds of education take root, they promise to yield a harvest of informed investors, ensuring that the past remains a lesson, not a legacy. In a nation abundant with promise yet tempered by trials, the Umanah E Umana scandal burst forth, a parable of ambition and avarice, forever etched into the annals of Nigerian history. How does a financial mirage seduce so many, leaving behind a trail of disillusionment? As we peer into the past, we find within these events a mirror reflecting the challenges of a burgeoning economy striving to define itself in the wake of independence. Historians and economists weigh in, piecing together the tapestry of a nation dancing on the precipice of modernity. The early 1990s in Nigeria were a period of profound transformation. The shadow of military rule loomed large, yet beneath it, a restless populace yearned for progress. The allure of Umanah E Umana's promise, a glittering vision of prosperity for all, proved irresistible to thousands. This scheme, a wonder bank to some, a treacherous pitfall to others, flourished in fertile soil, where regulation was as yet unformed and dreams of wealth unfettered by skepticism. Amidst the bustling streets of Lagos and the tranquil villages of the hinterlands, the echoes of this scandal reverberated through the collective consciousness. It was a time when the lines between possibility and peril blurred, an era when the pursuit of wealth was often a leap of faith into uncharted waters. Yet, as experts reflect, this tale is not solely one of folly. It stands as a testament to the resilience of the Nigerian spirit, a poignant chapter in the ongoing narrative of a nation forging its destiny against the currents of history. In understanding the significance of the Umanah E Umana episode, we glean insights into the complexities of Nigeria's journey, a story of hope, ambition, and the indomitable will to grow and thrive. The Umanah E Umana scandal left more than financial ruin in its wake. It etched an indelible mark upon the cultural psyche of a nation. As we delve into the scars of yesterday, we are reminded of the fragile nature of trust and the enduring impact of betrayal. In the aftermath, a cautious skepticism took root, a collective wariness towards the all-too-glittering promises of investment ventures. For many, the scandal was a personal tragedy, a bitter lesson learned through loss and hardship. Families found themselves adrift, their savings evaporated like morning mist, leaving them to navigate an uncertain future. The echoes of such experiences resonate still, shaping an environment where financial decisions are often approached with trepidation and an eye toward the lessons of the past. In the broader societal context, the scandal amplified conversations about accountability and governance. It served as a catalyst for reform, spurring calls for more stringent regulatory frameworks and greater transparency within the financial sector. Yet, even as policies evolved, the cultural narrative around investment remained tinged with caution. The wounds of Umanah E Umana remind us that the path to financial literacy is as much about healing as it is about education. They urge us to consider how historical events continue to inform present-day attitudes and behaviors. In the quiet reflection of these lessons, we find a somber understanding that the journey towards economic stability is not merely about wealth, but about the trust and integrity that underpin it. As we stand on the threshold of tomorrow, the horizon unfolds with promises of growth and innovation. A future unwritten beckons, where the lessons of the past illuminate the path forward for Nigeria's financial sector. With each passing year, the nation embraces new opportunities, shaped by a youthful dynamism and an unyielding resilience. Technological advancement emerges as a beacon of potential, guiding Nigeria into an era of digital finance and inclusive banking. Mobile technology and fintech innovations herald a democratization of financial services, extending their reach to the once underserved rural communities. These developments hold the promise of bridging divides, fostering a more equitable landscape where economic participation is accessible to all. Yet the road ahead is not without its challenges. To harness the full potential of these innovations, a robust regulatory framework is essential, one that balances the freedom to innovate with the imperative to protect. The lessons of Umanah E. Umana remind us of the perils of unfettered ambition, urging caution even as we dream. In this hopeful moment, Nigeria's youth stand poised to lead, their aspirations entwined with the future of the nation. They are the architects of a new narrative, one in which growth is sustainable and prosperity shared. As we envision this future, we hold in our hearts the hope that from the ashes of past missteps, a more resilient and prosperous Nigeria will rise. As the echoes of history guide us, we find ourselves at a junction where contemplation becomes action. A call to engage, to learn, and to remain vigilant rings out, a clarion urging all to participate in the crafting of a transparent and accountable financial future. In the wake of the Umanah E. Umana scandal, the importance of financial literacy emerges as a cornerstone for empowerment. Knowledge becomes the shield against exploitation, arming individuals with the tools to navigate an ever-evolving marketplace. It is a deeply personal journey that calls for curiosity and a willingness to question the status quo. But beyond individual empowerment, there is a collective responsibility, an invitation to demand transparency and integrity from the institutions that hold the keys to economic stability. Civic engagement becomes a linchpin, as active participation in governance and policy-making forms the bedrock of a vibrant democracy. This call to action reverberates across generations, an invitation to stand together in pursuit of a shared vision. It is a vision where the mistakes of the past inform a future rich in opportunity and fairness, a testament to the enduring strength and potential of a nation united in purpose. Let us heed this call, for in doing so, we contribute to the tapestry of a better tomorrow. As our journey through the pages of history draws to a close, we pause to reflect on the story we have uncovered, a tale of ambition, deception, and ultimately, resilience. From its dazzling inception to its inevitable downfall, the Umanah E. Umana investment scheme stands as a poignant reminder of the complexities inherent in the pursuit of prosperity. The lessons learned from this saga are manifold, touching on the very essence of human nature and the perennial quest for wealth. In its wake, a society was left to grapple with the consequences, yet also inspired to strive for a more just and transparent financial system. As we stand at this crossroads of endings and beginnings, there is a quiet optimism that emerges, a belief that the future holds the promise of renewal. From the ashes of past errors rises the hope for a financial landscape that is both fair and flourishing, guided by wisdom and experience. The narrative we have explored is one of redemption as much as it is of caution. It is a reminder that while the path to progress is fraught with challenges, it is also paved with opportunities for growth and transformation. As we look forward, the spirit of Nigeria endures, resilient and hopeful, ready to embrace the dawn of a new chapter filled with promise and potential.